If you want to lose weight and get in shape, should you go out for a run or should you head to the gym and pump some iron? It's the age-old question, what's better? Cardio or lifting weights? By the end of this episode, you'll have your answer and you'll know exactly what to do to get the best results. So stay tuned. So what's better for weight loss, cardio or lifting weights? The fact that you're asking this question tells me something really important about you. You like black and white answers, yes or no, up or down, good or bad, do it or don't do it. That's fine, but I want to challenge you on that mindset. Thinking in absolutes like cardio is the best or sugar is evil could be the reason that you're wondering this question in the first place. What I mean is that the all or nothing mentality is one of the biggest things that we help our clients overcome. Your weight loss progress, at least progress that lasts, is going to happen more like a dimmer switch that goes up and down over time than like a normal on-off switch that's either all this or all that. What I mean is that some days you'll be on fire and some days you'll be a dumpster fire. Embrace the process and try your best to move on quickly when things don't go as planned. Now that the psychology session's over, let's circle back to your question. If you want to lose weight, I'm guessing that you also want to look a certain way. And even though you have a goal weight, I have a feeling that you don't want to look frail or weak or skinny fat, or that a stiff breeze is just going to blow you over into the next county. You probably also don't want to look like you're about to step on stage for a bodybuilding show with veins popping out of your neck and giant bulging muscles everywhere and a fake tan that ruins all your t-shirt. 99.9% of our clients just want to look lean, strong, toned, and have a little bit of muscle definition. In other words, they want to look like they work out. They want to be healthy, have a ton of energy, and just be ready for whatever life throws at them. So how are we going to make that happen? We don't think in either or terms when it comes to doing cardio or weightlifting for weight loss. We look at the science-backed limitations, advantages, strengths, and weaknesses of both, and then we use them in our training accordingly. The one-sentence version of what I just said is you need to do cardio and lift weights as you lose weight to get the results that you want. Before we go any further, there's a giant elephant in the room that we have to address. Both doing cardio and lifting weights are forms of exercise, right? Well, as it turns out, doing exercise on its own is a pretty terrible way to lose weight. Scientifically speaking, you burn a lot more calories during the day when you're laying in bed asleep than when you do exercising. What I mean is that up to 60% of your daily calorie burn would happen if you just laid in bed and watched Seinfeld reruns all day. My point is that exercise is really important for your overall health and especially for keeping the weight off after you lose it. But how much you eat measured in calories is what's going to determine whether you gain or lose weight. Trust me, there just aren't enough hours in the day to focus on burning calories for weight loss. You have to accept the fact that your nutrition is where you need to focus. Another common mistake people make is tracking how many calories they think they're burning on their Fitbit, their Whoop, their Garmin, their Apple Watch, whatever. They'll think that they need to be burning off calories through exercise, or they see that number on their activity tracker and they eat those calories back because they're confused what to do. Here's the truth though. Whatever your activity tracker is telling you, it's wrong. Probably between 25 and 50% wrong. Trust me, you didn't burn 600 calories in that 60-minute workout class, and that 30-minute jog you went on didn't really burn 350 calories. I'm not trying to bum you out, it's just the truth. A 2022 research paper looked at 65 different articles measuring the accuracy of activity trackers on calorie burn, and it proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that these things just aren't reliable. I'll put a link to that study below. So just to be abundantly clear, you should definitely include frequent exercise in your overall plan. It's great for your health and for weight management, but just ignore what you're seeing on your device and don't make adjustments to your diet based on those numbers. All right, what burns more calories after you're done working out, cardio or lifting weights? Maybe you heard of this thing called the afterburn effect. Technically, it's called EPOC, E-P-O-C. It stands for exercise post-oxygen consumption. When you work out, you use up oxygen, and that continues even after your workout. Your body body also burns up calories and more oxygen in the process of repairing the damage that you did during your workout. I'm talking about damage of the good kind. And all this extra calorie burn can go on for about 24 hours after your workout. Research does show that both cardio and lifting weights increase EPOC after you exercise, but the research is also pretty conclusive that the difference between the two as far as how many calories they burn is negligible. Here's a quote from the study I'll read you. For EPOC to be a relevant point of emphasis in terms of weight loss, it needs to provide a considerable contribution to the energy expenditure of an exercise bout. EPOC has been shown to make a measurable but relatively small contribution to the overall energy expenditure of an exercise bout for most types of training. So just like my advice to not focus on the calorie burn on your watch, don't give a second thought to EPOC when it comes to choosing between lifting and cardio for the extra calorie burn. It just doesn't matter. That brings me to this question. Do you want to lose weight or do you want to lose fat? The two things aren't mutually exclusive, but they're definitely not the same thing either. Your body weight, the number you see on the scale, is made up of everything in your body, your bones, your brain, and even your skin. Your body composition, on the other hand, is the relationship between how much lean mass you have, or muscle, and how much body fat you have. You could weigh the exact same thing at two different points of your life, but look completely different because you've got a different body composition. The reason I bring up this whole body weight versus body composition so often on this podcast is because I want to help you reframe your idea of progress. Sure, it's great to see your weight go down, but when you focus on body composition, you're really improving your overall health and not just fixating on the number on the scale. Improving your body composition happens when you focus on losing weight, building muscle, and getting to a healthy body fat percentage overall. In general, men are trying to get somewhere between 12 and 18% body fat and somewhere between 20 and 30% body fat for women. Don't get too hung up on the exact number or run out to get a DEXA scan. Just Google for some sample body fat pictures if you want to see where you're at now. Okay, with that in mind, let's now talk about the benefits and drawbacks of doing cardio and weights. Is cardio good for weight loss? In a word, yeah. It's also good for your overall health too. There seems to be this recent trend of shredded influencers on Instagram and social media who are team no cardio. It's really pretty ridiculous. Not only is cardio helpful for weight loss, but it improves your insulin sensitivity, your heart health, your circulation, your joints, your digestion, not to mention your mental health. And of course, doing cardio does burn calories. And even though you shouldn't fixate on your calorie burn for weight loss, those calories that you burn up doing exercise, including cardio, do count. Doing cardio also increases your capacity. What I mean by that is what used to be tough for you or get you winded, you gradually get better at that as your conditioning improves. Let's say you used to get breath running on the treadmill at 5 miles per hour. After just 5 minutes, you had to stop. The more cardio you do, and not even just jogging, the more efficient you'll be and the more your capacity will build up. After just a few weeks, you might be able to run at 6 miles per hour for over 10 minutes without having to stop. So even though cardio on its own doesn't cause weight loss, you should do it for your weight loss and you should do it for your health. But before you lace up those Nike Pegasus or you throw on those fancy Peloton shoes or join a body pump boot camp class, let's talk about some of the things you should watch out for. Is doing cardio like running or riding a stationary bike safe? In general, yes, they are, but of course there is a catch. Your body is really adaptable, but only if you do things right. You can't go from sitting on your couch one day to training 5 days a week for a 5K without putting yourself at risk. In podcast episode number 205, I interviewed strength expert and doctor of physical therapy, Will Morris. In his clinical practice, he sees a lot of injuries, especially this time of year, here in the beginning of the year, from people doing too much too soon, especially when it comes to easy access cardio like going out for a run or jumping on a stationary bike. People who go from running 0 miles per week to between 5 and 10 are much more likely to have knee pain. And people who go from not riding a bike to sitting on a stationary bike for 60 minutes at a time, 3, 4, 5 times per week, are much more likely to have upper back and neck pain because of the posture that you're in on your bike. I'd highly recommend checking out that episode. I'll put a link to it below. Another thing to think about when you're trying to use cardio for weight loss is that it could be counterproductive to your body composition goals. Long bouts of cardio are what's called catabolic. That means that you're breaking down muscle tissue. That's the opposite of anabolic, or a building up of new tissue. As you lose weight, you want to balance the amount of anabolic and catabolic training that you do so you don't end up skinny fat at the end of your weight loss journey. I talked a ton about this topic in our episode on how to fix skinny fat, so I'll put a link to that below. The last drawback of overemphasizing cardio is that it can kind of mess with your mindset. If you've ever been running around your house at 10 p.m. just to get a little bit of extra cardio in, or if you've ever hopped on the bike to try to burn off something that you wish you hadn't have ate, that's what I'm talking about. Cardio has many benefits, but using it as a punishment for your body is a shortcut to having an unhealthy relationship with exercise and with food. So to sum it up on cardio, should you do cardio? Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you how we use cardio with our clients here in a minute. But first, let me answer this question. Is lifting weights good for weight loss? In a word, yes, of course it is. But just like cardio, lifting weights doesn't cause fat loss. How much you eat in calories does that. Remember that conversation we just had about body composition? We've coached hundreds of people over the last 10 years, and here's something I want you to know. If you want to improve your body composition while you lose weight, have more muscle, look more toned, you need to be lifting weights. That's not just my opinion either. That's backed by a library full of research. What are the body composition benefits of lifting weights while you lose weight? I'm so glad you asked. Here we go. Improve strength, improve lean muscle, improve muscle definition, increase metabolism, increase calorie burn, improved confidence, improved insulin sensitivity, improved independence, improved bone density, and improved just, feeling like a badass. Think about this. You want to lose weight, right? Why? To feel better, of course. To be healthy, of course. But you also want to look good wearing fewer clothes, right? If you diet to lose weight and you only do cardio in the process, what do you think you're going to reveal underneath that fat that you've lost? Nothing. There won't be any shape to your body because you didn't build any muscle underneath that fat. That's what lifting weights does. It builds muscle shape and size. If you've ever said to yourself, I need to tone up or I want to tighten up, what you're talking about is having a little bit of muscle size that you'll be able to see as you get leaner. That's what muscle definition is. You can even bias the way that you train to either skew towards muscle size or muscle strength. And of course, lifting weights does burn calories just like cardio. But as you heard, all the other benefits far outweigh that fact. If you've dieted in the past, but you've only done cardio as you've lost weight, I would highly encourage you to throw weightlifting into the mix this time. You will be much happier with your results. My wife Blakely even wrote a free 5-week weightlifting program. I will put a link to where you can grab it in the notes below. All right, so I've made my case as to why you should both be doing cardio and lifting weights. So what's the best combination of those two things to do as you're losing weight? Our advice over here at Digital Barbell is to lift weights between 3 and 5 times per week, focusing on full body strength. Every workout should include 1 to 2 compound lifts like squats, presses, and deadlifts, and then 3 to 4 accessory exercises that target your shoulders, your back, your legs, and your arms. Every workout should be between 30 and 60 minutes, and they should definitely all include a proper warm-up. The overall goal of your program should be to get stronger over time. Getting stronger means adding weight to the bar or your dumbbells, or being able to do more reps with the same weight. As far as how much cardio to include, the CDC recommends 150 minutes of moderate exercise per week or 75 minutes of vigorous exercise. Maybe when you heard that, you're like, I don't have 2.5 hours to go out for a walk, and I'm not going to crush myself with 75 minutes of heart-pumping high-intensity workouts per week. We get it, and that's exactly why the digital barbell training method works the way that it does. Let me explain. Think about this. An effective cardio workout gets your heart rate up to the desired level, and then it keeps it there. But that doesn't mean you have to be running on a treadmill or hopping around doing jumping jacks or any other kind of boring thing. And if you're trying to tackle your cardio with intense exercise, that doesn't mean that you have to run sprints or do 100 burpees for time or crush yourself with impossible metcons every day of the week. In our own training and with our clients, we take a different approach. Let's say you wanted to knock out 20 minutes of cardio. What if instead of hitting the streets for 20 minutes, you did 3 to 5 giant sets of this? 10 heel elevated goblet squats, 10 dumbbell curl and press, 20 calf raises, 20 crunches, and then 10 dumbbell bench presses. You'd run through that whole list of exercises, you would rest, and then you would repeat it again. You'd keep your heart rate up at the same level as if you were just jogging on the treadmill, but you would also accumulate 300 muscle building reps at the same time. Essentially, you're double dipping. And the result is that you'll have more strength and muscle definition as you lose weight. Plus, let's be honest, is there really anything more boring than just running on the treadmill for 20 minutes. My wife Blakely is the head of programming over here at Digital Barbell, and she is famous for her finishers. Instead of having our clients do hill sprints or boring cardio, she mashes up weightlifting, bands, and monostructural stuff like running and jogging to keep things interesting. Basically, she knows how to write a workout program that not only works, but is fun to do. That means better results for our clients because since they enjoy it, they stick with it longer. If you hate your workouts, you've got to find something that you enjoy enough to be consistent with. A Digital Barbell training client that works out 4 days per week will hit compound lifts like squats, presses, and deadlifts every week. And then they'll also do accessory exercises like curls, tricep push downs, calf raises, hamstring curls to build overall muscle size and strength. With that as the base of their weightlifting training, we'll include 2 to 3 of those cardio-based elements like I just described before. The end result is that our clients get to look and feel amazing as they lose weight, and that just might not be the case if you focus only on lifting or only on cardio. If you're like, that sounds great, but I don't want to figure it out on my own, I'll put a link to our program options and pricing in the notes below. The last thing I'm going to leave you with is some common mistakes to look out for. I talked about the all or nothing mentality at the beginning of this episode. Here's exactly how it's going to try to trip you up in your journey. You're going to start out super motivated. You're going to be in this honeymoon phase and everything is just going to go really smoothly. You're motivated to hit your workouts, you're eating right, and the progress is coming in hot. And then boom, life happens. Your boss drops a giant project on you. Your kids get sick. You go on vacation and have too many drinks. You miss some workouts, you lose some progress, and the motivational wind has been sucked from your sails. You're going to want to quit because you feel so depressed about the situation. Do not do it. Just because you were doing everything perfectly at one point in time doesn't mean you have to go back to doing everything perfectly again. Remember, progress is like a dimmer, not an on-off switch. If you feel really weak after missing a bunch of time in the gym, cut your workout time in half and lower the weights that you're supposed to use. Just start, and before you know it, you'll be back to where you were if you just don't give up. The last thing I need to emphasize is that if exercise was part of your weight loss journey, it needs to be part of your weight loss maintenance. People who pay off a huge amount of debt by sticking to a budget have to keep budgeting to stay out of debt. You simply cannot stop exercising if you want to maintain your weight, and you may have even proven this to yourself in the past. The good news is that if you used to work out 5 days a week, you can probably get by with 3 to 4, but you can't stop altogether. If you like what you heard in this episode and you're ready to go about this process once and for all, we would love to be the coaches that provide you with the plan, the guidance, and the accountability to make it happen. I'll put a link to our program options in the description of this episode and also put my email address if you want to email me personally. Have a great day.